I get a lot of responses to my videos, some very interesting ones, and the Genie Plus video recently definitely stirred up some discussion, as well as some very interesting, mean tweets and stuff. Here's a response to good comments, as well as some of the entertaining ones I've received lately. I've had some good comments and responses and questions on a couple of my videos, and I wanted to make sure I gave them a good treatment and a good response. And it's easier to actually respond in person than to start typing out essays. Additionally, I occasionally get some very interesting comments. Yes, I have my trolls. So let me respond to the legitimate questions and comments first. And then at the end, we'll have a little fun and respond to some of the not so nice ones, shall we say. In particular, Genie Plus really stirred up some comments. And I got this from Perceived Velocity. He says, "I'm sorry, I do not see the value in this service. Disney created a problem so that they could sell us the solution. It's naked greed, in my opinion. Disney is selling more tickets than their parks can handle, which leads to the massive lines." Okay, there's a few things to unpack here. One, Disney created the problem, so Disney's making people come to the parks and making people spend money and making people wait in the long line. People are making a choice. And it's not just Disney that's getting huge crowds right now, especially after the pandemic. It's everywhere. People are flooding to the parks. So how do you reduce crowds? Well, they're already having issues with people showing up and not having reservations and getting kicked off and making headlines. That's not a great solution. The reservation system is definitely causing some problems. So what do? Do you just close the park and tell all these people who show up, sorry, you can't get in? Do you limit it only to certain people? Do you raise the prices? Well, everybody's already saying, Disney's too expensive, we can't afford it. Okay, how do you limit crowds? If there's too many people in the park, how do you limit that? There's really only a couple ways. One is supply and demand. Right now there's so much demand, then you raise up your prices to reduce the demand. Or you reduce the supply and lock people out. What are you going to do? So, Disney also was the first ones to really create a skip the line with the original FastPass. This is an evolution of that. They are the only ones that had a free version of it. The only ones. And it created this expectation that they should be giving it free. And I don't know if that's a legitimate expectation either. Have all the other parks also created this problem? Lots of things there. And then the, shall we say, the appropriately named ROFL says, of course it's a great experience for people using it. But by using it, you're only encouraging Disney to cut back experiences included in your ticket and charge more for extras. Okay, so is this the case with others? FastPass was great. Disney is already expensive enough. Okay, so my first thing here is go watch Defunctland's excellent documentary on FastPass. And you'll see it's not as great as many people think it was. FastPass had major issues, and it increased wait times on everything and reduced the overall experience, the number of rides people experienced. That's a documented fact. Go watch that video and you'll see it in action. If you think FastPass is good, I'm sorry, you've been hoodwinked and suckered. It's just that simple. I said, you should watch Defunctland's video first. His response was, it was great for people who don't have tons of cash to spare, and for people who come for a short vacation and then don't visit again for years. Sad that you support this kind of corporate greed from Disney. I thought better of you. Ooh, gotta get that slam in there. Okay, so first off, it was great for people who don't have a ton of cash to spare. Disney has never been cheap. I've actually done a video on this in the past. It's never been cheap. The idea that you could go on a Disney vacation and not have very much money and you didn't have cash to spare, they don't work together, okay? If you're doing a Disney vacation, you can't afford to spend the money on a vacation, go to Six Flags, go to Cedar Fair, go to someplace else that's a whole lot cheaper. It's been repeatedly proven that you can do vacations at other locations, other parks, other theme parks, other countries for far less than Disney costs. Disney is not a place to go if you're tight on funds. Period. Sorry. If you're thinking that you are entitled to a Disney vacation with no vacation fund saved up, okay, take it from a guy who lives on shoestring budgets. We're not entitled to it, okay? I'm sorry. We're not. This is why I don't go very often, except when other people bless me with it, because my budget doesn't allow it. That simple. Short vacation Disney and then don't visit again for years. Okay, if you're going to take a short vacation to Disney, it's going to still cost you money. Let me give you an equivalent example. Universal parks. I know everybody's going, but they're not Disney. Okay, Universal charges the same amount to get in the park as Disney does. Same upfront costs, almost exactly. And their skip the line pass is $100 or more, depending upon how busy the day is, per person. Far more costly. Don't want to spend it? You got to stay at a Universal resort, in which case they're making the money from you off of the room. It's not free. Nobody else offers it free. If you're on a budget, you go someplace cheaper, okay? Now, I am the first one to criticize Disney for pinching pennies. If you watch my video on the recent trip to Disneyland, you'll see I criticized them pretty harsh for the lack of customer service when my friend ripped his shorts. And they were like, too bad, go leave the park. That's a major failure, not what Disney used to do. Disney cutting back photographers. Disney charging you for room service to deliver packages you've had. Disney putting photo boxes in and giving you crappy pictures and charging you a ton of money. Disney's definitely cutting things, and I'm very open on criticizing them. Genie Plus is not that. At least not at Disneyland. It's far cheaper than everybody else and offers more. That's not my opinion on that regard. Cheaper than everybody else. That's a published fact. Nobody else offers you all your pictures in the park for that skip the line pass as well. That's a fact. I'm sorry. I know people don't like that. Disneyland has not had a free service in quite a while. Max Pass was paid. If you wanted to get your fast passes at the rides, you could do that. But if you wanted to do it on your phone, you had to pay for it. And it's been that way for a while. And there's more benefits. I'm sorry, guys. I have lots of issues with Disney cutting things. But a paid skip the line service that makes the overall waits shorter for everybody else and makes it convenient for people who want to pay the extra fee, it's a win-win when it works right. And people who are mad because they don't want to spend $20 don't realize it's actually helping them, making those standby waits shorter as well. Look it up. Go watch Defunctland. It's a good thing for everybody in this regard when it works right. Okay? And this is Disneyland. Walt Disney World, there's a whole nother host of issues, and I will be reviewing that come June. Again, thanks to a friend who is sponsoring me. But yeah, it's coming. So that's kind of my response for Genie Plus. I'd love to hear more feedback. But then I got these other comments. Things like, so then I get comments like this one from Todd Cribbs. Oh, really? I can't wait till you go to Walt Disney World. Then you'll really be in the mess. I will be so happy for you for all the crappy remarks she said to me. Who? What? Crappy remarks? Who said to you? What? Huh? And then he goes on. Best day ever, SirWillow. And I could care less about you either. Thank you very much. Obviously, Todd, you cared enough about me to watch the videos and comment. So, you could care less. Yes, you definitely could care less, but you obviously cared some because you posted. Thank you for that. Now, maybe work on the punctuation and explaining who said what crappy remarks to you. And by the way, I'm a he. Yeah. Then I got this message on Facebook. LMAO, you wish you was a pastor. They are not rude lying jerks like you. What? Okay, I hate to tell you this, but I have been a pastor for 11 years as a head pastor, and for 6 years before that as an assistant and youth pastor. Yeah, and I'd love to know what on earth I supposedly lied about. Okay, I do have opinions that aren't always the most popular. I do have opinions that run kind of counter to everybody else. But one thing I don't do is lie. You might not like what I say, but I can guarantee you that when I'm saying it, it is the truth as I know it. I ain't going to give you a load of stuffing. Might not like what I say, but it's going to be straight shooting. So, yeah, okay. Whatever you say. And by the way, you wish you was a pastor? Being a pastor actually isn't something that most people would wish for. You have to definitely feel calling, because a lot of times it's a lousy job. It has its benefits and good times too. But SoCal laid back guy on my video to Knott's. You definitely don't know anything about my home park Knott's. You should just stay at Disneyland. Okay, first off, my budget doesn't allow it. Second, what are you talking about? I grew up going to Knott's, and actually made sure everything I said in there was perfectly accurate, at least as well as I remembered it. Love to hear what I supposedly had inaccurate about that. By the way, the historical book I bought, I went back and kind of read, and I didn't see anything in there that I was off on. So, SoCal laid back guy, obviously you weren't very laid back in this case, but get some gumption up here, boy, and tell me what I had wrong. Love when people drop a comment and then disappear. Oh, I'm so cool, I'll just tell them the way it is. Yeah, hide behind your keyboard warriors. Oh, and then I had this really fun one that watched a few of my videos and decided based on my silly dumb guess questions, had things like, you really don't like people, do you? It's so obvious you really don't like guests. Okay, there's this thing that you might want to get called a sense of humor. Learn to laugh at yourself first, then learn to laugh at things that are obviously silly. Not offensive, not insulting, silly. It's okay to laugh. Really, it won't hurt you. And then in the midst of all this long diatribe, he did actually bring up something that is a good thing for me to mention to everybody. He says, why did you delete my comment? I said nothing out of line, and so on. So here's something you may not know about my channel. I actually have filters in place. One of the things I pride my channel on is that it is family friendly. So I do have an automatic filter system in place that YouTube itself offers. That if somebody puts in curse words, certain flag words, or links, YouTube will automatically put that comment on hold. You might see it briefly if you type it up, but then it will put it on hold for me to go back and look at and approve. And I will see those, and I will look, and if they have inappropriate links, inappropriate language, inappropriate tone, or you're rude, they're not going to ever show up. I didn't delete them. They just never appeared because of the filters. Filters are a wonderful thing, and if you don't understand how they work for email and message boards and stuff, it's a good idea to learn. So no, I generally don't delete comments, but I do let my filters do their work and remove them from view. And that's just a couple of things. Yes, I do definitely have my trolls, and yeah, some of them are just real interesting. So again, I'd love to hear your feedback on the Genie Plus. I love people, by the way. You don't do a job like I do either in the theme parks or pastoral ministry if you don't love people. They may not love you back, but you definitely have to like people to do them, or you won't be doing them for very long. Love to hear your feedback. Love to give some of your opinions. Hopefully I helped explain some of the Genie Plus stuff a little bit better and made it clearer and easier to understand. You know, guys, paying to skip the lines is just something that's going to be happening now. Let's get the best system in place possible. And yeah, right now I'm actually the biggest fan of the most expensive one, and that's Universal's. I like it. But love to hear your feedback. Stop wishing for the days of free ones. They're not coming back. So let's get something that'll work the best for the price. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons for making things possible, including my outfit here and those Disney trips I mentioned. They would not happen without people sponsoring me. If you want to know more about that and the perks that come with it, be sure to check the links below. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you found this entertaining. God bless. Hello, Ginger. My dog's coming in to say hello. Lay down. The, shall we say, appropriate named... Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to know about contact information, fan pages, merchandise, and more, please be sure to check the description below. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to know when I have new ones, well, make sure you hit that subscribe button right up there. And if you want to see another one of my videos, well, I've got a great one for you right here. And a huge thank you to these wonderful people here who support me on Patreon and with YouTube memberships. They get behind the scenes information, special perks, and more. If you'd like to know more about that, well, make sure you check that button right there. Thank you so much.